Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks everybody that subscribed.
Hit that
all our solid
notification
listeners.
button.
Like my homie Joe Budden says, first and last time listeners. I love it when he say that. But anyways, I want to get into something serious and deep. I had to do a little research on this before I brought it to the people, but here we go. Special task force investigating Venezuelan gangs alleged ties in Aurora, Colorado. Aurora City Council officials say an apartment complex on Nome Street is closing due to code violations, but some council members allege there's more to this story. The Aurora Police Department said it has assigned detectives to a special task force to investigate a Venezuela's gang alleged connection to the city. The announcement came during a city council public safety meeting on Thursday. We have stood up a task force specific to this group, said APD Acting Deputy Chief Chris Jewell. We're actively looking at who they are, what they're doing, how many are there, and what is really what's the reality of the situation compared to what other public information that's going on around it's going around nationally. The gang known as Tren de Aragua, hopefully I said that right, started out as a prison gang in Venezuela and has expanded throughout the Western Hemisphere. Last month, the Biden administration designated the gang as a transitional criminal organization, accusing it of engaging in human smuggling, trafficking, gender-based violence, money laundering, and illicit drug trafficking. In recent days, social media has been flooded with accusations that the Tren de Aragua gang had taken over the Aurora apartment complex. The city is closing near Colfax and Peoria. Those claims have not been confirmed by either Aurora PD or the city of Aurora, but property manager claims the gang has taken over the site. An investor with the property told Denver 7 the site has become too dangerous for staff to work there. Tenants confirm they have not seen the manager on site for some time. We've been trying to get in touch with the manager. He quit, and we have no manager. So this is crazy. So we also have film of them. They broke into a jewelry store. Yeah, looked like kind of like a pawn shop. They robbed it. There's about 6-7 suspects.
Yeah, there's a bunch of women inside there who were working inside there. This guys came in, kicked the door in, pulled the burners on them. It was.
Yeah, they had them run into the back door, and they were like trying to hold it, and one girl's running around scared. I don't know what to do. Then the dudes kicked it open.
She was the last woman in there. You might have had to. I mean, whoever it was, man or woman, you might have had to leave that person out because they was taking too long.
Yeah,
y'all got to hurry up and get back
door.
there.
You couldn't even get the
couldn't get the door closed because of that last person. Then they want to. You know what I mean?
But it wouldn't matter. They had guns. I mean, you holding the door, pop, pop.
I'm not holding the door. I'm trying to lock it and get out the other way if I can.
I'm trying to open it. I can see someone's at the door. I'm just going to shoot them.
Yeah,
pow.
Absolutely.
That's what a criminal me would do.
Hey, it's a bad situation. They took over this apartment. It's basically like Nino. They basically took over the Carter. It looked like the Carter.
City. When he walked him outside with the shotgun to his the Mossberg.
It looked like it, man. They boarded up all the bottom apartment windows are boarded up because they went in there. They're like squatters in there now, so you almost can't remove them. Which I mean, they're gonna have to change that squatter law. If you're a sanctuary city, you need to change all your squatter laws now.
Well, that happened in New York too. Like the people were just going in the migrants were just going into the homes. And then one guy was online. He was like, look, man, they got these laws here where if you just go into a house and you stay the night, you live there now. And they can't get you out for so
they
many
arrested
days.
that dude.
They did?
Yeah, I think he was like Venezuelan or something like that. And he was running around doing that.
Making
and
videos.
They ended up arresting that dude. I knew people who were from some of these countries were talking about the dude. I guess he was really popular. Like on TikTok, he had like 500,000 subscribers or whatever, followers, whatever that is. And yeah, they ended up arresting him.
Yeah, they had the Venezuelans. They were saying we have a video clip of it where they're at this like Target in their parking lot, and it's right during the election. You know what I'm saying? And so as soon as the election results were read,
the Venezuelan presidential elections.
Yeah, presidential. They start popping guns off in the sky. You know what I'm saying? They took over this whole parking lot, and so I mean, this is not what people signed up for. I mean, especially in the Colorados, they said they're from Denver, but they're bleeding over to Aurora. They're
saying there's like 390,000 people in the city, in the city of Aurora. They said they've let in Denver has let in approximately like 40,000 migrants because they're a sanctuary city, so they're letting them in there. They sent them over there. They've had to cut emergency services to manage costs, which have already exceeded $68 million. I mean, so these are unintended consequences of when you don't vet who you have let into your country. There's just no way. I mean, there's a guy who we were watching on that video. You were saying that he was shooting his gun off in the air. Like, this is a dude right here. You need to go. I mean, bro, you done made it to the promised land. You done made it to America. You know what I mean? You're in the land of the free, home of the brave, whatever you want to call it. And you want to go back to, you want to just start committing crimes immediately because you mad? Yeah, get him out of here.
Yeah, they've been running up in the gun stores too.
Yeah, robbing everywhere,
robbing everything. Yeah.
I mean, so they need to go. You know what I mean? Period. If you come over here and but really, honestly, a lot of it is probably first and foremost is because they're criminals. That's first and foremost. And I ain't type of person like you a criminal, but they criminals. That's what that is.
Yeah, the majority of migrants the majority of people that migrate to America, they're actually law-abiding people.
They want to work. They want to do what they got to do.
They want to live comfortably.
Secondly, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably hungry. They probably don't have a lot of money. They probably, you know what I mean? Because they were saying on here.
Snacks in the jewelry store?
What'd you say? I mean, who knows? But you said that they tried. I don't know if they robbed the gun store and only got gun parts. You know what I mean? Which you can put together a gun with gun parts. But you know what I'm saying? Maybe they only needed the parts.
Well, that was one gun store. I mean, they've been Colorado actually is pretty notorious for people running into these gun stores.
You remember what you told me? Also, I guess they were like prostituting their women.
They're prostituting the women
for $20.
Some guy was giving them subleasing the apartments to a lot of the people and charging them $1,000. And they were like, "Oh, this is heaven," and they were paying the rent. But the guy, they were probably abandoned apartment complexes.
How you
but
think
they
was
took
getting
over
the money?
Whole complex. And the people there were like, "Yo, where are we going to live?" They kicked them all out and said it was code violations. But like you said, the person that owns the management of it, he's like, "No, it's gangs." He's like, "That's why I stopped showing up."
I mean, and at the end of the day, you got a lot of these people up here. I mean, they've been kicked out of their country. We talked about that already in other videos. Go look at our Venezuelan videos that we've done, and we've talked about, how unconducive it is for them to live where in their country, and it's partly and it's a large part due to our sanctions, pretty much all due to our sanctions on their country. So it's like, I mean, again, with that same
like we create this problem and then we get mad when the problem comes over to us,
comes home. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, when the person, if you rob me from my TV and I come to your house to want to watch it, am I wrong?
It's like you throwing rocks at a boat to put holes in it, then you got to get in the boat to get across the water.
It's a tough situation, man.
That's a weird analogy, but kind of.
I feel you. Yeah. You know what I mean? I knew where you were headed with it. We're gonna ride it out. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, this is a crazy situation. A lot of people are pissed off, man, because they're looking at this as a Democratic problem, but it's a problem across the board. But we got to do something about this border, man.
It's a Democratic problem. Like, the Republicans were like, look, stop letting these people in. We need to vet them. There's too many people coming over here that we don't know. And the Democrat cities, the sanctuary cities that have no borders to any foreign country was like, hey, those people should be able to live in America and be free. They're like, cool, well, we'll bus them to you. And that's what they did. And now you see what's happening in Aurora, Colorado. And they did it in New York where they were overtaking.
To me, if I'm a city, if I'm like, okay, say I'm Seattle, right? And then they have like a city like El Paso, or I don't think El Paso is even a border city. I forget, Brownsville, something like that, right? And that's kind of your concern. You're a border city. That's who you are. That's your concern to stop people from coming across the border.
Yeah.
That's your job to do that.
Well, Greg Abbott tried. You see, he put up the barbed wire fences. And then Trump had the one law where he was like, look, you got to wait for asylum in Mexico.
Do you know that Trump had more people coming across the border in his administration than Obama did? They called Obama the deporter in chief. That was his name. Yeah. That's what they called him. So he had less border crossings than Trump did. And that also speaks volumes for probably how well people were probably doing in other countries. You know what I mean? For they don't have to leave and come here. I mean, a big part of what happened in Venezuela is because of Obama, but it's also because of Trump as well too, for them sanctioning the hell out of Venezuela and a bunch of other countries to the point to where, it's
not livable.
It's unlivable in those countries. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. I just, we really gonna have to keep an eye on that. You know what I mean? And really,
that's a whole wild thing. They had to shut down the apartment complex instead of dealing with the gangs that are breaking into jewelry stores and gun shops.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. Nuts. I think the apartment complex was probably already vacant.
Denver's a Democratic city, so that's.
I think they're saying
the whole thing is that they start in Denver, but it's bleeding over to Aurora.
Yeah, it's too bad.